Open data does not yield any automatic benefits. It is only beneficial when someone discovers it and reuses it. Open data hackathons are one of the approaches used by governments, NPOs, as well as the private sector to show the availability of open datasets and to encourage the public to brainstorm new applications for them. The term hackathon stands for hacking marathon. While hackathon outcomes are rarely implemented or sustained after the event, there are still important benefits, such as collaborative learning, networking and community building, and the discovery of open datasets. From the perspective of inclusiveness, however, open data hackathons are often designed for a technical, specialist audience, such as data scientists and programmers. I want to talk about some considerations to include a wider audience in open data hackathons. Let's start by talking about what to do before the hackathon. Potential hackathon participants might worry that the event is not intended for people with low technical skills, that during the event they will not find people with a similar background, that they do not have the specific skills needed to make a meaningful contribution, or that they just won't have time to attend. To address these concerns, open data hackathons organizers should convincingly show that their event welcomes non-specialist users. For example, by showing statistics about previous participants, such as their gender distribution and backgrounds. Advertisement materials should also show possible tasks that non-technical users can perform. Let's now talk about what to do during the event, starting with the introductory presentation to participants. There are 3 key points to stress. First, avoiding a 24/7 working culture. The time pressure and competitive environment might push some participants to spend long hours working on their prototype. In your opening presentation, remind them that they are not expected to do so. Consider including regular breaks in the agenda and, if the event is more than 1 day long, consider closing the venue in the evening. Second, stress that technicality is not a priority. Show real examples of prototypes made with simple materials. Remind participants that it is enough to sketch their prototype on a piece of paper and that it is not necessary to make complex prototypes. Third, establish a code of conduct for hackathon participants and include rules about respectful behavior and inclusiveness. Coming to the actual activities of the hackathon, keep in mind that highly technical tools exclude some participants. You can suggest or even mandate that participants use beginner-friendly tools. There is an abundance of low-code or no-code development and data analysis tools. Also, when working with open data, try to provide participants with datasets that have already been cleaned. One of the most important parts of a hackathon is deciding which team to join. Having a good team working on an interesting idea can make all the difference. Keep in mind that participants might find it safer to stick with people they already know or who have similar skills. This could lead to very homogeneous teams. To encourage people to form interdisciplinary teams, you need to have an appropriate group forming process. In the capitalist process, participants are free to pitch an idea and anyone can freely join their group. The socialist process is more focused on people and is all about getting to know as many hackathon participants as possible before picking a team. You can read more detailed instructions at the link included at the end of this presentation. Consider mandating a specific team size so that at least some participants will need to mix. Teams of 4 to 5 people usually work well. Also consider asking participants to create a name tag showing the skills they already possess so that it is easier to form interdisciplinary teams. Now let's talk about what happens after the hackathon. After the event, it is important to collect data to assess whether the hackathon was in fact inclusive. One of the simplest ways to do this is to distribute a survey containing items on participant demographics, their satisfaction with the event, feeling of inclusion, and willingness to participate again in the future. Please remember that if you collect personal data, GDPR applies. If you're organizing a hackathon for research purposes, you might also need to seek the approval of an ethics committee. If possible, consider conducting a focus group interview with some participants to inquire about the group dynamics and roles and responsibilities that they took during the event. We looked at some things to keep in mind as an Open Data Hackathon organizer before, during, and after the event. Open Data Hackathons are important community building opportunities. Ensuring that non-specialist users feel welcome is a practical step towards more inclusive open data ecosystems.